Hi, this is Amy Romeo from the jewelry making and craft blog, amyromeo.com, and on this channel I share fun and easy jewelry making and craft projects. Today in this video I will be showing you how to make these really cute Valentine's Day candy heart baby bodysuit onesies with heat transfer vinyl and a Cricut Joy. So if you like this project, I will have the SVG cut files for you free on my blog in my resource library. And if you want to see more videos like this one, I really hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I post new jewelry making and craft videos every week. So if you're ready to get started, let's dive in. Let's go over the tools and materials I'll be using to make this project. I'll be cutting the heat transfer vinyl using my Cricut Joy because this design is perfectly sized to be cut with the Joy, but you could use your Cricut Maker or the Explore Air too. There are two kinds of vinyls we can use with the Cricut Joy. The first is their Smart Iron-On vinyl. This is a glitter, but you can also use solid. This is designed to go through the Joy without a cutting mat. But you can also use the cutting mat that comes with your Joy and use any heat transfer vinyl on a roll that you would like. This is Caesar Easy Weed, and I will link to the colors that I'm using in the description box, as well as all of the materials that I use today. Make sure when you're shopping for Smart Iron-On that it says Smart Iron-On and it doesn't say Smart Vinyl. This one permanent and removable. These are sticker vinyls and this is not what you want for your baby bodysuit. Whichever vinyl you use, you'll need a weeding tool. And then I will be using an Easy Press. This is the 9x9 size, but you can use whatever size you want. And an Easy Press pad to protect my surface. You can also use a cover sheet. You can use parchment paper or you can use a Teflon sheet. I will probably use a cover sheet because I come from the old school pressing land of using a traditional heat press and we always want to have a cover sheet. However, the Easy Press is designed to not need a cover sheet. So if you don't want one or you don't have one, that's totally fine. Now for the baby bodysuits, these are 100% cotton and I'll link to where I get these. So the candy heart design, if you remember from elementary school, is usually a pastel colored heart and then either red or bright pink lettering shows through. So I'm going to use a bright pink and a red baby bodysuit, and then I'll cut these pastel colored hearts, and the design, the baby bodysuit color will show through because the letters are cut out. On this one, I wanted to be able to use this really pretty Smart Iron-On glitter, so I did the darker glitter color on a lighter color onesie. It doesn't look like the traditional candy heart, but it's just as cute. Oh, and this is a keychain shape that I have on my blog. It's super popular. I will link to this project in the description box for you. So the last thing you'll need are the candy heart SVGs, and those are free in my resource library on my blog. They're design number 163. So I'll take you over to the computer now and show you how to grab those SVGs, and then we'll upload them into Cricut Design Space. To get the free candy heart SVG files from my blog, you'll want to visit my website, amyromeo.com. And right here on the main menu bar, you'll see the resource library link. If you already have a password, you'll click there. If you don't have a password, you'll click on Get a Password. You'll let me know what email address I should send the password to, and then you'll get the email instantly. You'll return here to the resource library button with your password, and you'll enter the password to access the library. And inside the library, all of my files are numbered and named. So you'll look for design number 163 for the candy heart shapes for the baby bodysuits. And this blue link here is the heading, and if you click on the link when you find number 163, you'll click on the blue link and you will download the folder instantly. The folder will be zipped, so you'll need to unzip the folder before you can access the files. Then in Cricut Design Space, I'll show you how to upload the SVGs. I'm using the Cricut Joy, and the first step whenever using the Joy is making sure that the Joy is your selected machine in Cricut Design Space. If you don't have the Joy selected, you won't see your different material loading options. So it's important that you make sure you have the Joy selected. Then I will click Upload and Upload Image and Browse. And I'm giving you 3 different SVG designs for the candy hearts. There's Cutie Pie, Love Bug, and You Rock. and I've labeled them as SVG. You might see them with a Chrome icon, or it might say HTML file, but look for the one that says SVG. That's the correct one. I'm also giving you a DXF if you're using Silhouette Studio, and a PNG. So let's go ahead and click on the Lovebug SVG and open. And you'll see a preview of the shapes here. I also have a bundle of more candy heart shapes in my shop, which I will link to in the description box for you. So go ahead and click Save. And we'll click on the design and insert images. So this is a pink heart. It doesn't matter what color it is when it comes in from your upload. You can change it to whatever color you'd like, or just leave it the way it is, because the color choice will be the vinyl that you select to cut it with. So we'll go ahead and make it blue because I will be cutting it from blue, and it's already perfectly sized for a onesie. It is 4 inches wide, and I've sized it so that it's appropriate for all size onesies. If you're using a newborn size, I would suggest taking it down just a little bit, maybe 3.5 inches wide. But we'll leave it here at 4, and I will click the Make It button. So the Joy will prompt us to tell it, are we cutting on a mat or off a mat? And since I'm using the Caesar Easy Weed for this first part of the video, I will click on mat. And with any heat transfer vinyl with text, you always want to mirror it. So I will just click on that. Everything else looks good. If you're using a Maker or a Explore Air 2, then you'll just proceed like you normally would cutting vinyl using the standard grip green cutting mat. Mirror the design and click continue. So I'm not using the smart iron-on for this particular part of the video, so I will just click on everyday iron-on. You can also use the washi sheet setting or the vinyl setting, whatever setting you prefer to cut vinyl with. And I leave the pressure at default. So now that I have the Joy material settings ready to go, I will go ahead and show you how to cut out this material and press the onesie. So I've trimmed a piece of the heat transfer vinyl from my larger piece of Caesar Easy Weed, and I've trimmed it to the size that the design will need to cut from, and you'll want to place it color side down on your Cricut Joy mat. And just load it into the machine. And then in Cricut Design Space, you'll press the green Go button. In Cricut Design Space, press the Unload button, and it will release the mat. And then we'll weed this, removing all the excess vinyl away from the design. I want to show you the same process quickly if you're using the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl. So I have my cutie pie design here, and I'll click Make It. And for this option, we'll choose without a mat because we're using the smart materials. And again, we need to mirror because this is a text design, and you'll see there's no little mat frame around the preview here. And you can also cut materials that are just slightly larger if they're off mat. So I'll click Continue. And because this is a smart iron-on glitter that I'll be using, that's what I'll select. I like to use more pressure when I'm cutting glitter, but if you're using a different smart iron-on material, or if your machine cuts a little differently, then you can change this setting however you need. So let me show you how the Joy will cut out the smart iron-on. So you just take the smart iron-on out of the little roll here. And you can see this is the shiny side of the glitter and this is the matte side. We always cut in reverse, so this will feed into the machine just like this without a mat. and then just press go in Cricut Design Space. I'm ready to press the design onto the baby bodysuit, and I'll be using the 9x9 Easy Press. If you have the smaller one, that works even better for onesies, honestly. You can also use a traditional heat press. And I've set the temperature to 335, and I need to increase the time to 30 seconds. And I got that time and temperature from the Caesar website. Caesar and Cricut brand, they both have great information on their websites in terms of the times and temperatures they recommend by material. Cricut has a great website, cricut.com/heat guide. I'll link to that for you, where you can enter the Easy Press you're using and the material and what you're using underneath. If it's an Easy Press mat or a towel, you enter all that information and it spits out its recommended time and temperature and some other guidelines. So that's super helpful. Be sure you take advantage of that. So I know that I want to use 335 and 30 seconds. And it's important always to pre-press your baby bodysuit or t-shirt, whatever you're using. I always use a cover sheet. You don't need to, but I like to for two reasons. The first is it prevents any buildup on the bottom of your Easy Press from transferring onto your design. I use it also when I use my big heat press. It's a wonder, I don't know how it happens, but buildup gets on the bottom of heat presses and you don't want them transferring onto your design. The second reason that I like to be in the habit of using a cover sheet, either parchment paper like this or a Teflon sheet, is once you start layering vinyl, it's really important that you have a cover sheet, and I don't like to forget and sometimes use it and sometimes not. So I always use a cover sheet. This is just parchment paper. This particular brand goes up to 425 degrees, so just check your parchment paper if that's what you'll be using. When I use my Easy Press, I like to use parchment paper instead of a Teflon sheet because it's a little thinner and I find that the heat transfers better. But again, that's up to you. So we just want to pre-press, and we do that so that we get the moisture out. We get the moisture out of the garment and also to get the wrinkles out. So we don't need to do it for that long. Just press a little bit. You could see on a red onesie like this, sometimes when you press, either with a heat press or the Easy Press, you will get a square. And that's just where the heat is because this red has a lot of dye. It happens also on bright pinks and highly saturated colors. Don't worry, this will go away. So we've pre-pressed our garment, and now I need to line up my design. And with baby bodysuits, an easy way to line it up is to look at the armpit line. That's sort of your horizontal center line. And then of course the tag on the inside is the vertical center line. So I usually eyeball this, but of course you could take your baby bodysuit, fold it in half and press a little line down the center, and then also press it here. Just give yourself a little crease line, not too much, but just a little crease line at the armpits, and that helps you center your design. So once I've got that centered, it's important when pressing anything using a heat press or an Easy Press mat that you don't have lumps and bumps if you can avoid them. So these seams up here on the shoulder, I want to move up as high as I can off of the mat so they don't interfere. Another thing you could do is you could use a small towel that's folded up on the inside of the baby bodysuit to sort of raise up the top so that it gets higher than these seams. This 8x10 mat would also be a good one, but I don't want to use my 9x9 press on this size mat because it will overhang a little bit. Last tip, I always like to have my Easy Press set up somewhere where I know where I'm going to put it back. It's very hot and you want to use caution with this, and you don't want to be fiddling with it and trying to figure out where to put it after you're done pressing. So I know where it's gonna go. Got my design set up. I have my seams moved off the mat as much as possible. And now we'll just press. You can see that heat line is there. Cricut recommends flipping it over and pressing from the back side, so we'll do that. And then we'll just check and see if our vinyl adhered, and it did. If it didn't, if when I was peeling the edge was lifting up, you just press it right back down, you cover it, and you press it some more. I find with glitter heat transfer vinyl, often you need to do at least 2 full presses. Just know that different materials vary, and you might need to press some things more than once. And there you have it. So as I said, I have 3 of these candy heart designs for you free in my resource library, and I have a bundle of 18 candy heart designs in my shop, which I will link to in the description box for you. I hope you liked that video and you're gonna try this project. It's a really fun one. I have lots more Valentine's Day craft projects and jewelry projects on my blog at amyromeo.com. And I also have lots of videos on my YouTube channel. I really hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and checking out some of my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.